Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sean Cross channel. I am Sean Cross, and this isn't exactly a Breeaction or anything like that, but this is actually a video just reflecting on now being at 300 subscribers, which is really cool. This happened a couple days ago, and not just by anybody, but apparently my good friend Josh Martineau, who's been a long-time subscriber of the channel. He decided to use one of his backup accounts to subscribe to the channel. So big shout out to him. As always, he's always been a real homie, and he's always been a big supporter of this channel. But as we now begin the road to almost 500 subscribers, which at this point, it's March, it's the 10th of March, I kind of want to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year, if that is a doable milestone, if that's a doable feat. But to do that, there will have to be major improvements to this channel, whether it be consistency in content, whether it be new forms of content, whether it be more collaborations, original music, covers, etc. That is what we are here, that is what I am here to discuss in this moment right here and now. Now, starting off this year, we've had a couple anatomy podcast sessions now. We've had Nail Splitter, we've had Disembodied Tyrant, Slaughter to the False Prophet, and we were supposed to have a Vile Impregnation session today. And we have so many bands this month, actually, that are planning to interview and share their story on the podcast, as well as possibly do Under the Skin sessions. And most importantly, the Anatomy podcast is getting huge. April 19th, ladies and gentlemen, tune in at about noon, or 4:20. April 20th, which that wasn't intended at all, that just happened, so tee-hee for everybody who's, 420, basically, Body Snatcher is going to be jumping on the podcast, the entirety of Body Snatcher, at noon on the 19th. We're going to get the session done, have it recorded, have it edited, all that fun stuff, and it's going to be uploaded 4/20, the weekend before their new record, Bleed Abide, comes out, in which we are also doing an Under the Skin session for that, so that should be really fun. But I want to go ahead and jump into now more thoroughly discussing the Cross Core, which that is going to be the name of the Patreon for Sean Cross. The Patreon for everything that I'm planning to do creatively, and that, I've been talking about for a little bit now, but not too in-depth, just because, I didn't think that Sean Cross would get up to 300 subscribers, which really grateful for that. Been an awesome experience just being able to talk to all the bands I have, or react to all the bands I have, or have bands reach out to me to either be on this podcast or have me do a reaction, in which some cases the bands didn't really do that much in return, but whatever, that happens. It's just getting bigger. So I feel it necessary to start diving into the Patreon. There are going to be 3 tiers, and I want to offer a disclaimer at this point in time by saying that over time, as time continues, the tiers, as more and more like swarms of people, dozens of people at the very least, start subscribing to the Cross Core, the prices of the tiers will change, but I will do my best to keep the pricings as fair as possible. It's just all the investments I put into Sean Cross and my creative mediums up until this point have been costly. Go figure. No pun intended, blah, blah, blah. Whether it be the equipment, even this mic I got today to replace my old one, it all costs money. It's not cheap. So that, and I'm wanting to see how many of you are willing to directly help me continue my creative mediums, whether that be graphic arts, more specifically calligraphy, or even just artwork like what's behind me right here by good old Kaylin Stokermans, because I do want to get into that type of artwork as well eventually. I'm wanting to get into tattoo artistry, which that's just another venue, that's another spectrum of graphic arts, and I've been doing all the thumbnails for Sean Cross. I have multiple logos that I've done for the channel and for bands or bands and their communities. Just trying to get my name out there. You get it. It's been a big journey, and I thank all the bands who have allowed me to collaborate with them, including, of course, Warm Shepherd, the OGs who let me start Druid House with them, make their first logo, made the super sigil, which, that could be on merch in the future. Nothing confirmed yet, of course, but been definitely talking with the dudes about that. So, Druids, keep an ear out. We're going to try to cook something up, and especially if you add in commentary and be like, hey, we do want Druid House merch, we do want Druid merch, then we'll see that happens as soon as possible. But as simple as this, wanting to know what you guys would want on the cross core. So far, I'm thinking mainly graphic art time lapses. So this would be a culmination of every single logo that I've ever made for the channel. This would be a time lapse with music in the back and a decent soundtrack, going through the Under the Skin logo, the original Anatomy Podcast logo, which I'm planning on adding extra spice to, the Sean Cross channel banner that I made recently because that was super fun to make, as well as other logos, because there are other logos that I've made that have yet to be unveiled for specific reasons. They're being put to use later this year, and some of them, they were never even used, and they probably won't ever be. And that's completely fine, because that's trial and error with graphic art design and just getting into those sort of collaborations with other musicians. But, kind of circling back, we have the cross core. Now, we're going to have 3 tiers, and so far it's only going to be $1, $2, and $3, because I don't really see the point in charging you guys $5 for what might just be polls for videos until I get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. The time lapses, as I've said before, and basically you guys, so you guys deciding what we upload, even deciding which musicians that we decide to interview on the Anatomy Podcast, Under the Skin sessions. Basically, you guys will have access to voting on what records that we are allowed to dig under the skin of you want to hear about next, whether it be anything from the last 10 seconds of life, Lorna Shore, Shrine to Malice, eventually, a whole bunch of different stuff. But I am working diligently to make sure that the cross core is something that you guys would be interested in. So yeah, to be quite subtle, to shorten the little story, shorten the commentary, and summarize everything. Yeah, I'm working on a Patreon, and I hope that is a great way to celebrate 300 subscribers. I don't even know. It's actually pretty cool being up, getting to this point with the channel. And the thing is, Blind Without Our Failures, nothing from that is on the channel just yet. I'm still waiting on a mystery track from friends of mine, and that should be really cool. So as soon as that happens, and depending on how that goes, you guys on the cross core, for sure, will definitely be the first to hear that first mystery track converted into Blind Without Our Failures. That's about it. And I really appreciate you guys subscribing. It means the world to me that among all of the thousands of YouTubers, though I haven't exponentially climbed to 1,000 subscribers by now, the fact of the matter is I have supporters. I have people who endorse what I do. I have people who promote what I do. And I have multiple musicians now in the scene that are willing to back my work as well. And at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. It's not that I'm making money off of any of this. It's not that I'm friends with as many people as possible. But, just coming from a content creator perspective. But just the fact that I do have supporters. Did not think that it would get this far. And cheers to 400, cheers to 500, and beyond. You guys be sure to enjoy your night. Plenty of reactions being cooked up as we speak, edited by Mr. Alec Maleficus of Slaughter the False Prophet, because we've been working together for a long time now. Or at least it feels like a long time. And yeah, that's about it. Later.